In this video, we're looking at 3 outstanding Nikon portrait lenses to see which is the king of bokeh. I'm hitting the streets of Hong Kong with Honey, wandering around finding natural pools of light and interesting backgrounds to see how these 3 lenses compare in terms of their contrast, sharpness, subject isolation, and of course, bokeh. Howdy folks, this is a video that a lot of you have been asking for. I got a small hands-on in New York City with the 135 Planner. Now this, I said at the time, it may be the most technically perfect portrait lens I've ever shot with. It kind of blew me away, but I literally had hours with it. I had a lot of people asking, how does it compare to the 85-1.2? First of all, you can see pretty similar in size. But I thought, let's make this a little bit interesting. There is a big focal length difference between 85 and 135, obviously. So what if we plug that gap with the 105? Now this is an F-mount lens. When you look at them like this, it seems a whole lot smaller, but when we add the FTC adapter, you can see all of a sudden they're very similar in size, and they're also very similar in weight and price once you put the FTC into the mix. I'm going to give you sample files from the Z8 that you can download to compare these 3 lenses for yourself. I'll put them over at learn.mattgranger.com. Whilst you're there, you can check out my Nikon Expert Setup Guide that takes you through the entire camera range of Z cameras. All the APS-C and full frame up to the Z8 and ZF, they're all in there. Takes you through all the physical controls, all the customizations you'll want to consider, and a complete menu deep dive. And when you do sign up over there, you'll also get a free copy of my guide to improving your portraiture. Now, let's go shoot. We started shooting at around 5 p.m. There was still some daylight out, but we were still looking for little pools of natural light, as well as checking our teeth in the vlogging camera, and shooting with them with some depth in the background to see how the 3 different lenses would differ. Now for each of the setups, I shot the lenses wide open and at f2, so you can check the sample files to see how they vary once they're stopped down. This was quite a funny setup. We were shooting in this busy marketplace. The lady who ran the stall eventually got sick of us being there and told us to leave, otherwise she was going to throw water on Honey. Luckily, we did get some different flash shots here before the water started flying. Now looking through the lens, the 85 is performing absolutely perfectly. No complaints whatsoever when using it on the Nikon Z8. The 85-1.2 is the fastest in this group. It has 15 elements in 10 groups, 11 rounded aperture blades, and an 82mm front filter thread. It'll focus down to 0.85 meters or about 33.5 inches. It's weighing in at 2.6 pounds or 1,160 grams, and it's the most expensive in the mix at $2,800. Now in this setup, you'll notice that there's a significant difference in the focal length of 85, 105 and 135, more than you might initially think. The 85 is the fastest, you get the shallowest depth of field, but the 135 and to a lesser extent the 105 lets you compress the background in and fill it up in a way that can also isolate your subject despite there not being such a shallow depth of field. This next spot, there was a little band of light out the front of this hotel which was casting a warm light, which then let us get the background nice and blue. Great use of color theory here to separate it out, have Honey warm and the background looking cool. Sorry for the crazy flickering lights here, but lots of LEDs still reign supreme in Hong Kong. Again, here using the warm lights of the pharmacy there to light Honey, and loads of LEDs and stuff in the background to give us some interesting bokeh. Now, exactly which lights are on in each of the shots varies because they're flickering, of course. Happy to say that despite the 105 being via the FTC adapter, it's also performing really flawlessly. The 10514 is a much older design. It has 14 elements in 9 groups, 9 rounded aperture blades, the least in the group. It has the same 82mm front filter thread. It weighs in at 2.2 pounds or 985 grams and $2,100. But when you add the FTC Mark II in at $250, it becomes $2,350 and just around 1,100 grams, so almost the same as the 85mm. But you'll note its closest focus is 1 meter, so it's about 20% further than either of the newer Z lenses. Stepping up to the 135, it is the slowest of the group at a maximum aperture of f1.8, but I have to say, wide open, it's pretty impressive. And here, being able to compress the background in that bit more, you can really bring the city up behind her, and it feels like she's right in there amongst it. It has the most complex design, 16 elements in 14 groups, the same 11 rounded aperture blades as the 85mm, the same 82mm front filter thread. It's 2.2 pounds, so once you mix in the FTC, it's actually the lightest of the 3 combos, and it's $2,500. Here's a random selection of other images that I captured on the day of strangers and cats and signs and whatnot. Check out the sample files below. So, there's a few elements here. Do I go with my emotion, my logic, my heart, my eyes? Let's just start with surprises and things that weren't surprising. Surprising would be that all of them perform really equally in terms of focus. The only thing would be probably the 135 if your subject was close. Sometimes it wouldn't detect them straight away and you might need to manually focus it a little closer to pick them up. But they all generally, they were perfect in terms of staying with her, keeping the eye. My strike rate was incredibly high in terms of shots in perfect focus. So that's really good. Other big surprise would be that the 135 is noticeably lighter than the others. The 105 and the 85, I'd say practically once you had them on, you could barely tell the difference of which one you were actually shooting with. In terms of the sharpness, I would say I'm really impressed that, the 1.8, the 135, is phenomenal wide open, and then stopping down to f2 at such a small stop, so not a huge difference, but I was surprised that the 1.2 is also crazy sharp and still very contrasty, wide open, but there is a noticeable improvement to f2. And the 1.4, whilst I love the look of it wide open, once you stop it down to f2, it really catches up with these other lenses. But wide open, it's not as sharp and contrasty as the 85. And overall, I would say there's kind of a softness to the 105. And that's not to say a lack of sharpness, but a softness in terms of, I don't know, it just feels a little bit less harsh in the way it renders skin tones and pores and details. Still really sharp, but maybe not so microscopic, clinically sharp as these two are able to reproduce. In terms of bokeh, you just can't escape it. I've talked about this many times on the channel. f1.2, 1.4, 1.8. If you move your distance to the subject so that you equalize the frame, the 1.2 will always give you the shallowest depth of field. So technically you're going to have the most blur with that lens when you're shooting it wide open. But there were plenty of times where using the 85, I wasn't getting the background looking quite how I wanted it, but going longer to like 135, I could really bring the lights in the background that much bigger to fill up the frame, and it seemed to separate her out even more. So it's really going to come down to how you shoot, your distance to your subject. I couldn't justify having all 3 in the kit. If I was choosing 2, I would probably go for the 2 extremes, so I have the most variation, more options. The difficulty for me personally is I currently own the 105. The 85 isn't that big of a difference, and the 135 also isn't that big of a difference from the 105. So I guess for now, thankfully, that probably saves me a couple of $1,000s. Do yourself a favor though and download the files to check them out for yourself. We use pools of light and flash to try and keep the ISO as low as possible so that you can really see the image quality. I'll include samples of them wide open as well as stop down to f2. Whilst you're over there, you can check out my Nikon setup guide, and by signing up you get free access to the guide to improving your portraiture. I also have a free start to finish lingerie photo shoot that you can grab for free as well. Check it out, links for everything is below. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you soon.